Hey everyone, today I'm going to be walking through my very first sketchbook. I thought it'd be interesting to look back on the very first sketchbook I ever filled to see how far I've come. And also I thought it'd be an interesting experience for anyone that wants to see what progress can look like if you fill up just one sketchbook. I basically only ever drew heads and faces in this. So you'll see what kind of progress you can make if you just focus on one area. I'll also show some current drawings just so you see where I'm at. Let's get into it. So the very first thing, this is like super old, but I thought I'd want to draw an eye. And I think like anyone interested in drawing, try to make it super realistic looking. But if you know what an eye actually looks like, that's not quite it. Second page here, you'll see these are my first attempts at drawing faces and actually trying to learn. It's not too bad. A lot of these weren't from reference, sort of just what I imagined a face to be in my head. You get these kind of weird looking things, but you know, it's okay. Here I was inspired to draw some anime related stuff. This is Chihiro from Spirited Away. I didn't get that far. Similarly here, some city landscape, I started coloring it in and I gave up pretty quickly. All right, here, there's some sort of Pokemon, also a bunch of eyes I drew. Here's like my first attempt at drawing my own face. Turned out okay, actually. You can see me trying to use guidelines and like constructing the head, and I'm pretty sure I was looking at a mirror or something when I was drawing this, but that's what that is. Here's a drawing of a tree with some obelisks pulling into them. So in terms of doodling, I had been very confident about drawing trees that look somewhat visually appealing. So this is there's actually some nice shading there. On this side, I think I was playing Dark Souls and I was inspired by the sort of monster design, decided to create something. It's like a multi-sided face thing with really long arms with two biceps. Here's another picture of my face. I also started drawing skulls because I watched a Cynic's tutorial that said skulls are good if you want to learn how to draw faces, and it actually ended up being really helpful down the line. Also got into drawing a bit of bodies because I wanted to be able to draw and design characters, so this is my first attempts at that. More bodies here, trying to construct a body with basic shapes and like the joints and such. Actually pretty happy with how this looks for how early I was in. You can see I was trying to use cross hatching and just more like a one-to-one copy of a picture of this guy. Here's where I started getting into very quick sketches that are more appropriate for learning. So just something really quick so I can get through a lot of sketches. I think a problem I had was I would draw them really small, which made it more challenging when it came to erasing, as well as actually using my arm more for drawing. So a lot of these did not turn out great as a result. Also, I was just still learning, which is okay, of course. They're actually okay, and you can see I'm already improving a lot. Also, this one looks very skeletal. I don't know why. I see the progress already from this, and I remember being a little more confident with tackling faces. A lot of these are from references. Occasionally, I would do something like this where I'm just sort of drawing something to draw it, and that's okay. Michael Scott, Daniel Kaluuya are supposed to be. Yeah, these are faces I also started trying to shade, and I think I did okay for myself at the time, right? I think when I was trying to gain more confidence, I was just trying to draw faces that were straight on, but also at the same time mixing in what I was less comfortable with, which was faces at angles, because I didn't really quite understand the structure of the face as much. More faces with shading. I wrote loose here. I guess I was trying to stay loose, but I think there is some improvement from the previous pages. So another self-portrait, this time at an angle. Again, these are really small, which I wish I didn't do as much. And here is me. I think I was trying to construct, do the box method to really understand the three-dimensional shape of the head. I don't think I would try that nowadays. More with the box. This is Jon Snow. That's supposed to be, I think, Kawhi Leonard, but I made him look like really cartoonish. I'm pretty sure that was unintentional. Here, I was watching a tutorial from Cynic's and learning about how to draw masks, because I felt like I was struggling with faces at this point. I really didn't quite understand it. My faces were really inconsistent, so you can see like these two don't look quite as good as some of the ones in the previous pages. So I was trying to look at other ways to learn how to draw the face, maybe that aligned more with how I thought about it. So I looked at that mask method. A lot of these references came from Pinterest, because you can easily find faces there. More Pinterest faces. This is Denzel Curry. So this one's interesting. I think it's a Naruto character, but I think it's my straying a bit away from just referencing real life and looking at referencing characters. It's actually helped a bit because I was able to draw something pretty quickly with more simplified shapes, and that helped me build some confidence because the result looks a lot better because it's not as realistic. Here's some loose faces. I'm pretty sure a lot of these are not from reference, but just trying to make faces. You'll see like these are it's very inconsistent, which is okay. Oh, here's me trying to design some characters. I thought I'm like actually pretty happy with how those turned out, but it's not too bad. And yeah, here's just, I think just messing around. Sometimes I would just have a moment and then just do some quick drawings, even if they did not make sense or they didn't look good. Oh, okay, so these aren't faces, but it's me trying to design a personal logo. Here's some more faces and bodies. So this one actually looks pretty interesting just because I was going for more well-defined corners, really more simplified version of the face. I was gaining confidence in drawing straight lines as well. Lots of smudging because this is a ringed sketchbook. More drawings of myself. Yeah, some of these were really quick, a lot of sketchy stuff. At this point, switch to a mechanical pencil. You can see the lines are a lot less thick, much more thin. And I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but that's what I did. It did, I think at this point, lowered my confidence a bit because it's a lot less sketchy, so you can really see where the mistakes are much more than when the lines are thicker like back here. Your brain will sort of fill in the mistakes because the lines aren't as well defined. And here, I think you'll notice it took some getting used to, so the faces don't look as good. I actually was happy with how these few came out. Just for context, I think I spent a varying amount of time on each one. Some of them were probably really focused like this one, so they turned out a lot better. Some were really quick and just trying to draw something quickly, so they don't look as good. Like this is a good example, probably a really quick sketch. These are quick sketches too, but I think trying to be a little more stylized. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is when I was playing Metal Gear Solid because there's another picture of Snake. More faces, Sagat from Street Fighter. Yeah, the inconsistency is really standing out to me. But again, I was spending different amounts of time on each one. Here's some more personal logo exploration, more faces. Me trying the mask method again. I don't think it was really sticking though. It doesn't look like I was really doing that. Here's me trying to draw a literal mask and ending up with these funny smiley face ones. More design, logo design exploration. I am a designer for my day job. So the quality is still inconsistent, but I'm noticing the general quality is better, which is cool. Improvement. This is a Dark Souls boss. Pretty sure it's Smo from Dark Souls 1. Trying to draw cubes as a way to construct the head. I think I tried that earlier with mixed results, but drawing cubes actually helps a little bit with perspective. Some basic gesture drawings. Street Fighter, I think this must have been when Street Fighter 5 came out. These are Street Fighter 5 characters. And here's some more shading. I was looking at drawing statues, and that's because the shadows are much more well defined. And so that was good practice for that. Mix of characters and stuff. Doomfist from Overwatch. Yeah, it's high noon. That's when I played Overwatch. Starting to draw a little bit more bodies. It's helpful. Yeah, some of these I'm just like, I just want to fill the page with something and I'll move on to the next. But you'll notice the heads are getting bigger as well because I noticed how drawing so small was hindering me in a way. Right, so these are bigger faces. Some of them were just, you know, really weird stuff for practice. Yeah, also mixing in a little bit of character, stylized faces. It's actually interesting looking back and seeing how I don't draw like this anymore. What I'm noticing is a development of the understanding of the face a bit more. Like this is definitely something I couldn't draw like at the beginning of this. So definite improvement. See that? I'm actually, good job me. That actually looks pretty good. And I did it in pen apparently. Yeah, so here using construction or guiding lines for the head. Felt like I needed it, and it was really useful at the time for understanding the face. Starting to draw heads more at angles as well. Even though it was definitely not my strong suit, it helped when it came to building confidence in areas I wasn't as confident in. So shading, eye stuff. Here's me trying to understand like where eyes go with the perspective, like when the head's turning. Some pretty decent looking heads actually. And again, the quality is going up in general. Something I did too was occasionally I would draw and redraw the same head more than once so that I could observe the first one, see where I made a mistake, and then try it again to see if I could address those mistakes right away. you can see the difference between this one and this one. I definitely drew this one second. Pretty decent drawing of Tupac. Some of these are super quick. I'm pretty, like a lot of the really sketchy stuff I probably just drew just to draw something. Oh, some personal information. I'll blur that out. Okay, yeah, characters, mixing in some bodies there, but I think I was really focused on getting good at faces because it's really frustrating. People in general are really good at noticing when faces are drawn really weird or when something looks weird with a face. It was really easy to notice when I was doing something wrong, which made me want to get good at it. So I really focus on faces. And a lot of the same Pinterest model showing up. Here are some designs for, I forget, I was just trying to make some designs. That looks pretty good. More bodies and gestures, more bodies, some faces. I'm pretty sure I drew this one without a reference. And it actually looks okay. Face skull. Whoa. This is like, yeah, a couple of drawings of statues, I believe. Here, that looks crazy. Here's where I started doing draw a box, but then I got bored. So I didn't continue. I just kept drawing more faces because that was a lot better. And I'm noticing how much more confident my lines look here. Here's some funny looking stylized faces and also just a dog for some reason, right? And then the very last page I ended with this, which is, yeah, I think another Pinterest reference. So let's flip from the first page to the last. So here's page one, go back here. Here's page one. You can see the heads and faces, and then the very last page, only 100 pages later to this. Pretty cool. I'll put some pictures on the screen so you can see where I'm at right now. But I also have another physical sketchbook I want to walk through, and I think that would be a fun video. Subscribe if you're interested. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.